Okay. Right. So I'm joined for our latest Take a Seat interview by Connor, and it's brilliant. I really enjoy doing these member interviews. We just get the chance to kind of hear a wee bit more about what businesses do, and they get the chance to kind of tell us some of their things that affect them or are kind of going on for them in the world of work or business. But we get a wee bit of an insight into them as people too. So just going to start off by inviting Connor just to tell us a bit about you and what you do, Connor.
Hi, I'm Connor Boag, owner of PHX Water. I set up the company just over 2 years ago. We're based out of Perth, provide Legionella control and private water supply treatment services. So things like Legionella risk assessment, water tank cleaning, water treatment, plant installation and servicing, sampling and testing, all this sorts of stuff that's related to Legionella control and water.
Great. And although we're talking a bit about work, I'm also interested in just getting some insights into people and how they, what makes them tick as well. So one of my questions is, what's your favourite thing about Dundee and Angus?
My favourite thing about Dundee and Angus of recent years, after all of the development, it's actually a really vibrant city now. So the nightlife is really good. There's a lot of good restaurants and hotels now, which we live just outside Inchture, so we're regularly in Dundee. So we do enjoy going out for tea or lunch or even just a bit of shopping. It's massive improvement over the last few years within Dundee city centre, certainly.
Yeah. Another thing that I'm asking people about is what your favourite time of year is and why.
I like the summer months because I like to barbecue. I'm a complete carnivore, so I like to eat any sort of meat that I can possibly find. The smokier, the better.
Okay. And what about, I mean, we're not fully locked down at the moment, but people are missing all sorts of different things about, our current restrictions and how we're having to live and work. But what is the one thing that you're missing most in the current situation, would you say?
I think it's the difficulties with sort of social life. So I feel like you go to work, you come home, and you don't particularly do an awful lot else. There isn't that sort of opportunity to sort of switch off from work mode as much as there was previously. That's probably the thing that it's my little sort of bugbear with the lockdown and the situation at the moment.
Yeah, it's a really tricky balance, isn't it? I fully get that. On a more work note, I've been talking to people about how their work has changed during the crisis. So how has your work changed, and what will the future hold for what you do?
So our work scopes have changed a lot. So previously it was sort of routine maintenance and remedial works following risk assessment things like that. And then when the lockdown hit, that drastically changed. So we ended up doing sort of fogging disinfection services using the chemicals and equipment that we use for tank cleaning. So we adapted to that pretty quickly. That was actually before the lockdown came in that we started offering that service. That also, as quick as it started, it very quickly died off. And we ended up doing just a lot of system disinfections and sampling. So a lot of places that had shut down, hotels and things like that, restaurants that had all closed down before they could reopen, we would then go in and disinfect the system, sample them, make sure that they were suitable for use before people started to use them. So one of the sort of larger clients that we ended up doing work for was Speedy Hire. So all of the hire shops throughout Scotland, we actually went around, just every single shop disinfecting all the pipework before they opened up. So all the sort of routine installations and everything came to a grinding halt, and even our maintenance contracts that we hold, there was issues with getting access to areas and such. So a lot of that came grinding to a halt, and then all this new sort of work started to come to fruition, which was interesting, and I'm also very glad for as a new small business that there was something to keep the books going. So and obviously, as I mentioned to yourself earlier on, Alison, I ended up going back to my old work, which was Scottish Water. Very fortunate that I left there on good terms, and that they wanted me to come back to to help cover some shifts up there. So yeah, and what the future holds. We're actually looking at going from 2 employees up to 3. So we've got a new vehicle which is coming in at the weekend, and we're looking at taking on someone probably the start of November. So just because of the the massive increase in workload that we now have, everyone's looking at getting the things done that has been missed over the last few months, and yeah, there's a lot of work there.
And when all of our restrictions are done and dusted and we're much more freely able to get out and about, what would be on your lockdown escape bucket list?
Take a good couple of weeks off, I think, because I've not really stopped. It's been pretty manic. So I think the first thing, when the lockdown gets lifted, as they might say, which if that ever fully happens, I don't know. But yeah, when that happens, I'm taking at least a week, if not 2 off.
Oh, you're going to spoil yourself.
Yeah, press the internal reset button, probably go on an abroad holiday and do all the things that you can't do at the moment.
If you had a message for people about the things that you've learned yourself about the world of work and business, what would it be?
Good question. I would certainly say, so when I started the business, I didn't have any debts, and given the current sort of situation, I'm glad that was the case. So when this pandemic started, our outgoings were so minimal because we didn't have any loans. Even sort of hire purchases for vehicles and things were all really quite minimal. So it's really sort of living within your means. Don't sort of jump before you can walk, sort of type thing. So yeah, just live within your means and take steady paces, I think.
Brilliant. And for people that have watched this and that are interested in getting in touch with you to have a bit of a chat, how do they do that?
So you can either get in touch via email, so info@phxwater.co.uk, or you can telephone, which is 01738 472 149. You can tell I don't tell that one very often. Or my mobile number is 07503 343 328, and that is probably the best place to get me because I'm usually out and about.
Fantastic.
All over.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, it's been really a pleasure talking to you and just learning a little bit more about what you do. For those of you that have been watching our Take a Seat interviews before, you'll know that we put them out on social media. It'll go on our YouTube channel and be on our website as well. So please look up Connor and what they do. And just if you're interested in getting involved in our Take a Seat interviews, then please give us a shout at the Chamber. But Connor, thank you so much for taking the time to come on. Everybody that I talked to has got their own interesting story. It's super interesting to hear about our members. So thank you.
I'll go and get changed now. I should have said that I've obviously just came running straight in from my job. So yeah, I'll go and get changed and have a coffee.